Force lightning is one of the most forbidden techniques at the Jedi Temple. To conjure the power meant delving into the dark side of the Force. So why did Grandmaster Yoda end up using the Sith technique, and did it cause him to fall to the dark side? Join us as we answer these questions and more on today's Underrated Moment. What do you know about Force lightning? If you assumed that it was the power that was associated with anger, then you'd be right. Although in Legends there were variations of the skill that Jedi could use, Luke Skywalker famously utilized an emerald green version of the Force lightning known as Electric Judgement in order to defend the galaxy against the Yuuzhan Vong. And earlier, Jedi Master Plo Koon emitted an orange bolt of lightning from his fingertips when apprehending an enemy. In fact, members of Plo Koon's species, the Kaldor of Doran, were capable of emitting pure white lightning which supposedly never tread on the dark side. Now in the new canon, Jedi rarely cast Force lightning in combat. It was termed as a far more evil technique and is taboo amongst the Order. So it comes as a strange revelation when we discover that Grandmaster Yoda, one of the greatest Jedi ever to live, once used the power of Force lightning himself. According to a new source, Yoda apparently used lightning while on the surface of Dagobah. But what caused the Jedi Master, who once so vocally spoke against dark-side techniques, to finally accept the roles that lightning plays in forming a Jedi's understanding of the Force's mysteries? With no opponents to fight on the surface of Dagobah, it seems unlikely that Yoda started to use the ability in order to protect himself, and even though he was defeated by Darth Sidious during their duel in the Senate floor of Coruscant, Yoda never seemed like the type to use an old vendetta as motivation. He knew that it was unlikely that Sidious would ever chase him down to Dagobah for a rematch, and it was even more unlikely that Yoda would depart his swamp-covered hiding hole and venture back to the core worlds in order to topple the new Empire from the top. No, the use of lightning seemed to originate from a different part of Yoda. After the fall of the Jedi Order and the rise of the new Empire, Yoda realized something. His leadership and the way of the Jedi had failed. And that failure reflected entirely on him. If he had been less dogmatic and more flexible in his time on the Council, the Jedi might have been able to avoid the war altogether. But instead, Yoda allowed himself and his students to serve as soldiers for a republic that was never actually fighting a just war. Perhaps, as a reflection of his own failures, Yoda relaxed some of his perceived notions about the Force. One of which was a strong stance against the technique typically referred to as Force lightning. At least that's the way I would view it. Yoda might have been just practicing a neutral version of the technique, the very same one that Plo Koon's people claimed to have mastered. In either case, watching Yoda project bolts of electricity from his fingertips is quite the shocking image, and one that we wouldn't expect to see from the revered Grandmaster.